Well, the problem is there are many challenges in order to achieve and ultimately realize these smart solutions. We need to bridge the divide and achieve smart digital reality by addressing these problems. The first of which is the abundance and ultimately the variety of data we now have accessible to us. That data can include anything from, let's say, GIS data from a GIS database or CAD systems or BIM systems. And when you integrate, let's say, dynamic sensor feeds on top of those enterprise systems, you ultimately have, and really do have, a tsunami of data that many organizations, just like Ola talked about yesterday, have an avalanche experience in trying to get a handle of and ultimately leverage and use of. The second challenge is whether we're operating inside or outside. Look at these numbers. I was shocked when I found this out. A recent study in the United States concluded that Americans only spend, on average of course, only spend 13% of their time outside. That's less than 1 day a week outside. But from a geospatial perspective, and even given my history, we spend all our time mapping what's happening outside and not inside. We're now starting to see a shift. We're starting to see a shift where organizations, to support the idea of a smart factory, or a smart building, or a smart airport, or a smart railway station, are starting to leverage devices, sensors established with IoT to ultimately understand what's happening inside. So they're really creating real-time situational awareness for what's happening inside. Similarly, we can go below ground. We now have sensors, even sensors from Leica Geosystems, that enable us to measure and ultimately understand what's happening below ground. From a real-time perspective, we now have the ability to get an operational view of what's happening above ground and below ground. This opens up a lot of opportunities where we can go and leverage and build solutions for applications that operate in the air, for, let's say, aviation, for solutions that operate on the land, and maritime-based solutions, all with one platform. Scale no longer has any limits, and the possibilities for real-time location intelligence are really infinite. The third and final challenge I want to talk about today is what we call the GeoOps challenge. If we look at the geospatial world, we've really spent a lot of time focusing on upstream data acquisition, data processing, data management, and data distribution or dissemination. Whereas the operational world needs to connect to that data, they take that data and ultimately analyze it, visualize it, and distill information that can be used to take action. But there is a divide, and there ultimately needs to be a bridge between these two worlds. And the GeoOps challenge needs to bridge this divide by bringing in together solutions and platforms that reduce the latency and the life cycle loop from going from the geo world to the operational worlds. When we solve this challenge, we can implement solutions that operate both inside and outside, above ground and below ground.